Hello and welcome, Shandra. We've got the Evolving
Hello.
on Purpose author podcast episode today, and I'll just introduce Shandra in. This is a bit unusual because normally I do the podcast without video, so you'll have to bear with me reading this because it's quite a good biography, and I would just get my tongue tied around this trying to remember it. So Shandra is a shamanic Reiki master, a spiritual midwife, a Celtic high priestess witch, an integrative life coach, an intuitive artist, a creatix, artificer, divine mother, a member and ally of the LGBTQ plus community, and owner of Healings of Light and Love by Shandra. And she lives a life of adventure with her family and is the proud mum to one amazing kiddo who has always been her why. Welcome, Shandra.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be here, Katie.
That's a beautiful bio. There's so much amazing stuff in there. And it just shows you the type of people that are being attracted to coming into this book, because I'm looking at these bios and you think, is it humanly possible to be all of these things? But we all tend to be really multi-passionate, don't we?
We do. Oh my gosh. Well, that is so true. And it's funny because something that I forgot to have you add was that I am the creator of the I Got the Woo community. And that in and of itself has been like a huge part of who I am, coming into a whole to share that with others. And so this is just the perfect space, having this book chapter to be able to kind of bring that to life and to do that.
So that's divine timing as well then, really.
Oh, it really is. Everything that's ever happened to me is divine timing. I just didn't see it as such at the time.
Yeah, I've had that. Or you just miss it and go around in circles until you realise that there is actually something just there for you that's absolutely for you, and not all of the other rubbish that we tend to get caught up in. Exactly. So what attracted you to the book then, Shandra? Why did you want to be an author in Evolving on Purpose?
Well, I had been in contact with you before about a different book, and the timing just wasn't right then. And when I heard about this one, and then I realized that I had a story to share. And it's so funny because during COVID, one of my healing friends, who is one of my teachers, was like, Spirit is saying, write that damn book. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. Like, it wasn't really in the face. And then the first opportunity came by and I was like, okay, I'm not quite ready, but I'm gonna let this sit. So when you came through, I really trusted you. I mean, I've watched you for a while now. We've had a friendship that's developed, and it just felt like the timing was finally right. And so I said yes. I didn't even know that the title of the book was Evolving on Purpose until after I signed on. And then I just knew. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's right. I did this. This is what I've always been saying, is I've been evolving and that I've been doing it on purpose. So it was, like you said, divine timing.
So I needed to become a publisher to create this book for you.
Right? Exactly.
Happens, and that's how I feel about the women that have come in so far, is I'm supposed to do this. I know everyone so far. I know how amazing you all are. And it's just watching it come together. It's beautiful. And I'm just so excited about who else is gonna realize that this is for them, and that it's divine timing. And what do you know, because I know you'll know because you're intuitive as well, what do you know that this is going to do for you?
Oh man, so I know that taking the step to be a part of this book is the single most important thing for me to make that jump into the life that I desire, and that is with my higher self, to really step into her and to be able to be like, this is what I was here for, so that I can use this platform to finally reach all of the people that I feel like I haven't been able to reach because I've been playing small for a really long time. So taking this huge leap and being seen worldwide. I mean, yeah, you can see me on social media, sure, but that it's like you got to catch the right timing. This is something that so many people read, and it's like
Yeah.
they get called, especially now, to these multi-author books because they're like, I want to know, I don't want to just want to know one, I want to know a bunch because I want to take it all in. So that's what this is going to be, is that me being able to share my story of hope, my story of comeback to others so that they can actually see, hey, if she can do it and all the shit I've been through, they sure as hell can do it.
And that's just so important, isn't it? That's
Mm-hmm.
the importance of storytelling. When people understand what we've been through and that we can do it, then and we're, you know, normal human beings, it's possible for anybody. But you've got to get out of your own way and stepping up to doing something like this, as well as the book launch. You know, you're thrown into a podcast now, and you're thrown into having to do live streams. So it just ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? And the networking as well that you get out of something like this, it's you know, it's going to widen your network because all of the authors will end up in each other's networks as well.
Right. Well, and what also happened
Huge
as a
opportunity.
Oh, that is a huge opportunity. Getting to know the other women that are part of this is so integral because it's like, oh, you're creating like this tribe with each other, and that's really great for support. And to what you were saying as well about it being having all these things happen, like I even made a solo trip to the ocean so I could start working on this, and that's the first time I've done that in 7 years. Like that kind of thing.
So
I've gone away, but
it made you take care of yourself.
it did. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you, what happened on that trip was nothing short of a miracle, because literally I saw the life that I'm here to live and what I will do. And I had all of this information that came through, like channeled and downloaded. And looking on it now, I'm back here in my home, and I'm like, I want to be there. What do I do to get me there? But what it was that I didn't know what there looked like, so it was really hard for me to imagine even what steps to take to start to be there. And so now that I have that happen, and it felt like I was cracked wide open and like rebirthed a part of myself. And when I did that, I came back a changed person, going, okay, I won't play small anymore. I can't play small anymore. There's too many people that need me to be visible. And it's like I broke down my own barriers by taking the steps that I've taken since, you know, choosing to do this and be a part of this.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear that. And I think as well, when we understand now, because I know that you've worked with some coaches as well, so we understand how our lives would be without those people having put themselves out there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It makes it even more important that we do it, doesn't it? It makes it even more important that we're out there for the people that are going to need us or do need us.
Yes.
Or that we're supposed to be a part of their journey. Now, I had a soul contract reading in December, and that was the thing that really, really pushed me, because in that soul contract reading, it told me I was the connector. I had 7s all across it, and my role here is all about connecting people. And I thought, well, that's obviously why the podcast has happened, because that's exactly what I've been doing with the podcast, and this fits perfectly into that. So I think when you know as well that the people are coming in, they're part of that. That's incredible.
It is.
But it's getting the message out there to the people who are part of that.
Yes.
That's the thing, isn't it? And hopefully with divine timing, they'll feel it.
Yes.
And soon we'll get to meet them.
Right.
So Shandra, can you tell us a little bit about what your chapter's going to touch on without giving too much information?
So my chapter is on addiction and the spiritual journey. I've been in sober recovery now for 9.5 years, and so I'm writing what it's like to get there and how I was able to do it, because a lot of people are dealing with addiction, and addiction is addicted to anything. It doesn't have to be just drugs or alcohol, but any sort of addiction. And kind of shining my light for them to see, hey, you know what, if I can do it with all that I've been through, like I said before, they can do it too. And it's not an easy choice to make. In fact, it's probably the most challenging choice I ever made, but I did it for me. And that's the thing, is that they're going to find out they can only do it for themselves. Like, yeah, they could do it. Like I said, like you said, my why has always been my kiddo. And sure, I did it partly for them, but I also did it I had to do it for me. That's when I knew it was going to stick, is when I had to do it for me, and I couldn't stop.
Mm.
I had to stop looking outside myself. And that's indicative of my whole life. Like, I've had to
Mm.
learn in my whole life, I cannot look outside myself to find the answers. The answer's always within me.
Absolutely. And addiction has played a big part in my life. So I full well know how difficult that is for anybody who's going through that, who's living with people who are going through that. And it's such, for me, it's probably one of the most important chapters in the book.
Thank you.
Because it's been such a big part of my life, seriously. And when you said that was what you were going to write about, wow, I'm blessed.
Well, thank you.
So thank
Yeah,
you for stepping up to the plate to that one.
of course.
It's
You know,
not it's not an easy one to talk about.
well, and see, me personally, I have to disagree with that statement, but that's because of the type of person I am. I learned from a very young
Yeah.
age to talk about things. I would talk about the things that nobody wanted to talk about. My mom would tell me that you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about sex, you don't talk about money. I'd say, fuck that, excuse me, and I would do it anyways.
Good for you.
So I didn't care. I've always talked, like, even when I was living through my addictive time, I would talk about it. I would say, hey, I know I'm an active addict, but I'm doing the best I can to keep myself alive and living a healthy life, even though I'm using this as an escape. And I knew that I was always on the path of trying to heal and recover. I just didn't find the right things until I finally did. And
Mm.
that's why I find it to be so important, because we have to talk about this. This is something that has been shamed and kept in the dark for
Yeah.
so long. I mean, I think about so many people that I've known in recovery, and and some of the groups that I've gone to, and they tell you don't talk about it out of here. And I can understand that, but at the same time, that keeps it continuing because it feels shameful. You have to you have to
Yeah.
work through that shame, because there is no shame. We live in a society, we live in a culture and a time where they teach us this. They teach us
Mm.
that we aren't supposed to feel. So if we are feeling, we're like, uh-oh, we're not supposed to. We got to stop it. We got to find a different way. So it's like, it's not shameful. It's uncovering the truth of what we've lived through and being able to heal that.
That's beautiful. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Hmm.
What if anyone wants to come and find you to work with you,
Hmm.
where can they find you?
So I currently have a website. It's www.igot, the woo.com. And that's pretty much where they can find me at all my socials except for Instagram. Right now I'm at Celtic, and that's CELTIC, healer, and then Shandra, SHANDRA. Soon it will be the I Got the Woo. I'm working with Instagram to deal with someone else having that name while I'm trademarking it.
Oh no.
So I have a I Got the Woo community that's starting on Facebook as well. So it's going to be a place for others to learn how they can access their woo and really come in to live in it. And because woo isn't just, well, I mean, it is magic, but it's really, it's that person that's hiding deep inside your authentic self, who wants to come out, who is connected to spirit, who is connected to your intuition, who is connected to your higher self, who is grounded in their and embodied. And that's what I teach, is how to become that.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And a question I like to ask my guests is, if you could give advice to your 20-year-old self now, what would it be?
Oh, if I could give advice to my 20-year-old self, I would tell her that she is enough, that she is beautiful and worthy just because she is, and to stop trying to please everyone else, because they don't matter. Who matters is you. You matter. What you want, what you desire, your dreams, those are what matter. And don't ever let anyone stop you from going after those dreams, because you are pure magic and you deserve it. And you're going to have an amazing life that is full of adventures. And there might be sadness, but you are strong enough and powerful enough and resilient enough to get through anything. Because on the other side, that's where all the good stuff is. You just got to keep going.
Oh, I just had shivers down through my body hearing that. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Of course.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Shandra.
Thank you.
And you'll get to you'll hear Shandra. She'll be on the podcast next week in next week's episode, and you will get to read Chandra's chapter when we launch the book around October time.
Yay! So excited.
So, bye for now.